Former All Blacks hooker James Parsons believes Fabian Holland has one specific quality that could make him a key player for New Zealand against the Springboks: his ability to read and disrupt defensive lineouts. The 23-year-old has been named alongside Josh Lord in the second row for the opening test at Ellis Park, with Tupou Vaa'i also providing significant height and athleticism in the forward pack. It is one of Dave Rennie's biggest selection calls. There were several strong options available. Patrick Tuipulotu impressed during the final test of the July series against Ireland, while Sam Darry and Josh Lord had also made strong cases for selection. Yet Rennie has chosen Holland, and according to James Parsons, there is a very clear reason. Holland's defensive lineout work could be his superpower. That could become extremely important against South Africa. The Springboks are renowned for their set-piece strength, and their lineout is a major part of their attacking game. Clean possession in that area can lead to powerful mauls, forward carries, territory, and sustained pressure. If the All Blacks can disrupt that platform, they can potentially take away one of South Africa's most effective weapons. That is where Holland comes in. Speaking on the Aotearoa Rugby pod, Bryn Hall explained that the second-row selection was one of the toughest decisions facing the coaching staff. He pointed out that Sam Darry, Patrick Tuipulotu, Josh Lord, and Fabian Holland had all performed well. But Parsons believes Holland offers something particularly valuable. He highlighted the young lock's defensive lineout ability, referring to a previous match where Holland produced an important steal close to the Highlanders' try line when the Blues were attacking with a numerical advantage. That kind of moment shows why his selection makes sense. The All Blacks are not simply looking for bigger forwards. They are looking for players who can challenge South Africa tactically. Holland gives them height, athleticism, and an ability to read the opposition's lineout. That could force the Springboks to change their plans. And even if Holland does not steal every ball, his presence can create uncertainty. Where will South Africa throw? Who is the primary target? Will the All Blacks challenge? Will they fake pressure? These decisions can become a tactical battle within the larger test. The importance of this cannot be underestimated. Against the Springboks, small advantages can become huge over 80 minutes. A successful defensive lineout can stop a dangerous attacking sequence. That can lead to a clearance. The clearance can create territory. Territory can lead to pressure. Pressure can produce a penalty. And suddenly one defensive action has influenced the scoreboard. That is why Fabian Holland could be one of the most important players to watch at Ellis Park. His job will not simply be to win lineouts. He will need to tackle, carry, clean out, support the scrum, communicate, and maintain his work rate against one of the most physical teams in world rugby. That makes his selection even more impressive. Holland missed the entirety of Super Rugby Pacific and the Nations Championship because of injury. This South African tour has therefore been a major opportunity to rebuild his match fitness and confidence. Now he has been trusted with a starting position against the Springboks. That is a massive vote of confidence from Dave Rennie. The All Blacks coach could have selected experience. Instead, he has chosen a combination design to give New Zealand a stronger aerial and lineout presence. Josh Lord and Fabian Holland form an extremely tall second row, while Tupou Vaa'i adds another athletic option. The strategy appears clear. Challenge South Africa in the air. Disrupt their set piece, and prevent them from establishing the kind of forward dominance they want. But there is also a significant risk. Rennie has not selected a traditional lock replacement on the bench. Instead, loose forwards such as Anton Segner and Peter Lakai provide additional energy and flexibility. That could prove to be a masterstroke if the starting locks stay healthy. Late in the game, fresh loose forwards could increase the tempo and give the All Blacks greater speed around the field. After 60 minutes of intense physical rugby, that could become extremely valuable. But the opposite is also true. If the All Blacks lose Holland, Lord, or Vaa'i to injury, the lack of specialist second-row cover could become a serious problem. That is the gamble. Dave Rennie has accepted. It is a calculated risk based on the belief that the starting combination can provide enough value to justify the bench structure. For Holland, however, the immediate task is much simpler. He has to perform. He has to make the right reads. He has to challenge the Springboks lineout. And he has to show that he can handle the physical demands of Test rugby. The pressure will be enormous. Ellis Park is one of the most intimidating environments in international rugby, and South Africa will be determined to start the test with intensity. The opening 20 minutes could be especially important. If the Springboks win repeated attacking lineouts and establish their maul, the All Blacks could find themselves defending for long periods. But if Holland and Josh Lord can disrupt those opportunities, New Zealand could change the rhythm of the match. This is why James Parsons believes Holland's specialist ability could be so important. The former All Black is not saying that the other locks do not deserve selection. Quite the opposite. The competition is strong. Tuipulotu has experience. Derry has impressed. Lord has been playing well. And Holland has shown his potential. The difference is that Holland offers a particular tactical weapon. That is often what separates selection decisions at international level. Coaches are not simply choosing the best individual players. They are choosing the combination that best fits the opponent. For this test, Rennie appears to believe that defensive lineout pressure is worth prioritizing. And that puts the spotlight firmly on Fabian Holland. There is also a psychological element to the battle. If Holland steals an early lineout, South Africa will know that New Zealand are willing to challenge aggressively. If he disrupts another, the Springboks may start changing their calls. That can create hesitation. And hesitation is exactly what a defensive team wants. The All Blacks do not necessarily need to dominate South Africa in every area. They need to create pressure in the right areas. They need to make the Springboks uncomfortable. They need to prevent clean possession. And they need to turn defensive success into attacking opportunities. Holland could be at the center of that strategy. For a young player returning from injury, this is a huge opportunity. A strong performance against South Africa would establish him as a genuine test-level option and give Dave Rennie another important piece for the future. But there is no guarantee. The Springboks will test him physically. They will force him to make tackles. They will challenge him around the field. They will attempt to make him work before every lineout. That is how experienced teams test younger players. The question is whether Holland can remain calm and execute his role. He does not need to become the star of the match. He does not need to score a try. He does not need to dominate every collision. He simply needs to do what he has been selected to do. Read the lineout. Compete in the air. Defend strongly. Carry effectively. Stay disciplined. And create pressure. If he can do those things consistently, his selection will begin to look less like a surprise and more like a calculated tactical decision. The matchup between Holland and the Springboks lineout will therefore be one of the most fascinating battles of the test. Every South African lineout will provide another opportunity. Every New Zealand challenge will reveal part of the game plan. And every successful steal could shift momentum. The wider story is equally important. Dave Rennie is building an All Blacks team capable of competing with the world's best. That means finding players who can bring different qualities to the squad. Fabian Holland may have just shown that he possesses one of those qualities. His defensive lineout work could become a genuine weapon. Against most teams, it is useful. Against the Springboks, it could be decisive. That is why this selection deserves attention. It is not simply a young lock being given a chance. It is a tactical decision designed around a specific strength. The All Blacks are effectively betting that Holland's ability to read and challenge South Africa's lineout can help disrupt the Springboks' attacking structure. If it works, the rewards could be enormous. If the starting locks stay healthy and the bench provides energy late in the match, Rennie's gamble could look inspired. But if injuries strike, the lack of specialist second-row cover could become a major weakness. That is what makes this selection so intriguing. There is risk. There is opportunity. And there is a young player with a chance to announce himself on one of the biggest stages in world rugby. For Fabian Holland, the message from Dave Rennie is clear. The coaching staff trust his ability. They trust his athleticism. They trust his reading of the lineout. And they believe he can pressure the Springboks. Now the challenge is to prove it. At Ellis Park, every lineout could matter. Every defensive decision could matter. Every physical battle could matter. And if Fabian Holland can turn his defensive lineout superpower into real pressure, He could become one of the defining players in the All Blacks opening test against South Africa. The stage is set. The Springboks are waiting. And Fabian Holland has his opportunity.